Get it. SNP's economic record will be tested when MSPs debate Stage 1 of the Scottish budget. Nicola Sturgeon's economic record will again come under fire, with MSPs set to debate Stage 1 of the Scottish budget this week. The Scottish Tories have produced an economic analysis which they will use to argue against Ms Sturgeon's plans for income tax hikes. They released a damning dossier warning that Scotland is set for the worst economic growth in the developed world for the next 3 years. The figures show that Scotland will fall from 6th worst in 2016 to the bottom of the table in 2019. Getty figures show that Scotland will fall from 6th worst in 2016 to bottom of the table in 2019. The simple fact is that, despite 10 years in power, the SNP has created a Scotland with high taxes and continuous low growth. Dean Lockhart. The Conservatives also say the SNP has failed to match UK growth in 30 of the 42 quarters since 2007, and since 2010, the SNP has failed to match UK growth in 25 of 29 quarters. The opposition also say the SNP has not matched UK growth in a single quarter in the last 3 years, since Q2 of 2014. The Conservatives recently revealed that the SNP's failure to meet this target will cost Scotland £16.5 billion in lost GDP growth compared to UK growth. Figures released by the party compared Scottish growth rates with other countries across the G20, OECD and EU. Nicola Sturgeon spoke with volunteers when she visited the start-up Sterling Food Bank. They used GDP figures produced by the Scottish Government's independent economic forecaster, the Scottish Fiscal Commission (SFC), the Office for Budget Responsibility and the OECD. A comparison across 46 countries showed Scotland was 41st in 2016 with GDP growth of 0.4%, although Scottish GDP is forecast at 0.7% in 2018 and 0.9% in 2019. Scotland is leapfrogged by other countries and ends up languishing in 46th position at the foot of the table, with the Scottish economy lagging behind other countries. The Conservatives will argue that Finance Secretary Derek Mackay should not be raising taxes under his new powers. Mr Mackay proposes to introduce an extra 21% income tax band for earnings between £24,000 and £44,000 that will sit between the basic and higher rates. He has also put a penny on both the higher and top rates, increasing them to 41p and 46p respectively. Shadow Economy Secretary Dean Lockhart said, "The simple fact is that despite 10 years in power, the SNP has created a Scotland with high taxes and continuous low growth." To quote the independent Fraser of Allender Institute, such low trends in economic growth for Scotland have not been witnessed in 60 years. This impacts on the amount of money available for schools, hospitals and roads. The SNP must concentrate on growing the Scottish economy. There can be no case for raising taxes while Scots are already paying so much and getting so little. Sunday, April 9, 2017. Men, the colour of the tie is the most difficult decision they have to make every day. Defending his strategy, Mr Mackay said, "We are absolutely committed to supporting business and growing Scotland's economy, as demonstrated by the £270 million increase on economic spending we announced in the draft budget, and our £96 million of extra support to deliver the most attractive business rates package in UK. However, the real threat to growth is the UK government's plans to take Scotland and the UK out of the European single market, and to reduce the migration which brings such benefit to Scotland's economy. As a result of our draft budget, Scotland will be the lowest taxed part of the UK for the majority of taxpayers. In addition, our budget plans will see hard-working public sector workers receive a pay increase of as much as 3%. Putting more money in the pockets, our income tax policy will protect the 70% of taxpayers who earn less than £33,000 a year and ensure they pay less tax next year for any given income.